I have a love-hate relationship with Destiny. It loves to fuck with me and I hate it. I was an avid Destiny player for about the first 6 months of release, and then I took a 6 month break. With the release of The Taken King, I found myself thrust back into the world and enjoying myself again. But not every day is a good day. We've had a bumpy adventure, Destiny and I. It seems to take an impossible sense of joy in undermining my wishes and expectations. I don't know if I got the ass end of the almighty RNG or what. Maybe my digital copy is cursed, but every chance Destiny has gotten to turn a potentially nice situation into gigantic level disappointments, it has taken that shit like a fucking king. I'm going to share with you the timeline of my personal experiences with Destiny. There will be trials, there will be tribulations. Now, when discussing difficult moments of your past, it's important to be thorough. I know it can be hard to relive those heartbreaking moments, but it's necessary to achieve personal growth, so I'm going to do my best. It all started with the beta. The Destiny beta was amazing. All the mechanics were new and exciting, and it really served to ratchet up the hype I had for the game. I had no negative experiences with the beta. The car is always shiniest during your first test drive. Then the full game came out. I, like many of my fellow zero-view streamers out there, had Twitch primed and ready for what was sure to be the video game to launch our channels into the spotlight, just by virtue of being new and ignoring the fact that thousands and thousands of other nobodies were populating the same space. Expectedly, I had no views the entire 3-hour stream, which is inconsequential to the main theme of this story, but hey, that's right, y'all missed out on 20 minutes of my killer Rabba's impression. Fucking pussies! I picked the Hunter, like 90% of people for that stream, but decided to start a Warlock character to play with my friend who couldn't get the game till the next afternoon, and that awoken female is my level 40 main to this day. We have a lot of memories, most of which involve dancing on top of tall pointed objects, or the day you found out that tree in the tower is climbable. So despite the title, of course it's impossible for me to say there haven't been good times. In fact, it's been 90% good times, but it's the negative that sticks with you. I know I haven't gotten there yet, let me keep building the framework for the narrative first. You don't start a horror movie with a close-up of the monster's face, don't act like you're bored, this shit is riveting. If you're a Destiny OG like myself and millions of others, you'll know that the quality of Destiny is quite demonstrably split into two very separate experiences. There's pre-engram patch and post-engram patch. If you weren't there for the 2 or 3 months of pre-engram patch, you really can't understand just how bleak it was. Oh, but you had the loot cave. Yes, we did, but we fucking needed it. If you're not familiar with what the engram patch was, when I tell you, you're gonna very predictably react with something along the lines of, you mean they didn't always have that? How could they be so daft as to just not employ that shit immediately? Your guess is as good as mine. You see, right now, rare engrams will always give you either rare or legendary gear. Legendary engrams can be legendary or exotic. Oh, if only that were always the case. No, before the Messiah came to Earth in the form of the Holy Engram patch, you weren't guaranteed shit. Blue engrams would frequently turn into green items, and purple ones, for me at least, had about a 75% chance to demote to blue. Oh, Destiny, she would taunt me. After 4 days of consistent dry spells, she'd finally cough up a coveted violet crystal for me to take on home to that dickbag Rahul. I'd rush to the tower, excited for the prospects of graduating another piece of my rare gear, only to have it turn into another goddamn blue machine gun. It was then I realized Destiny was cheating on me with Rahul. That guy deserved every unwanted photo op blowjob he got. This was why the loot cave was such a godsend. It gave us an opportunity to lessen each individual blow to our trust by compounding them all together into one massive haul after another. We'd take 4 legendaries to the tower, 3 of them would turn blue and we'd have to buy a new PS4 after smashing our current one, but we had that 4th one. We had accomplished something. We had something to show for our endeavors. Engrams might be the demon root of most of my troubles, but they aren't alone. Some of you might recall a certain exotic bounty for a certain exotic fusion rifle. Now, I could very well be solitary in this struggle, which would solidify my conspiracy theory that Destiny has chosen me specifically as a test subject for how players react when their luck stat is set to fucking 0. But if you didn't get this bounty, there were a few steps that I don't remember because they were trivial, and I hoped the whole bounty would be so simple, but alas, I was dismayed. This step required that you charge the fusion rifle core by dismantling 10 rare or higher other fusion rifles. Do you know what is needed in order to dismantle 10 rare or higher fusion rifles? That means you have to acquire 10 rare or higher fusion rifles. And when all the vendor bitches in the tower suddenly act like their shelves have never seen a rare or higher fusion rifle, suddenly you have to hunt down 10 rare or higher fusion rifles. I'm talking scouring the solar system for blue engrams, before the drop rate was noticeably increased somewhere down the line. I don't know if it was the Taken King or a previous DLC. And that means rolling the dice with every one you pick up. And did I mention those dice have 24 sides, and only 2 of them land you a dismantleable fusion rifle? You've got 8 pieces of equipment per rarity class. This is before artifacts, keep in mind. Head, chest, legs, arms, bonder cape or whatever, primary weapon, special weapon, heavy weapon. Your blue engram could turn into a green, blue, or purple version of any of those pieces, although let's face it, purple's a fucking myth. That bounty took me 2 weeks to complete. I prayed for Banshee's stock to give me a break. It never did. He's a bastard too. They all are. So by this time, I'm becoming ultra nihilistic as a Destiny player in a very unstable way. The devs are trying to break me. I know they are. They're laughing in my face as they dare to drop green engrams in my path while I'm soloing the weekly Nightfall Strike. I don't want to pick them up. My brain knows they're useless, and yet I'm compelled. I can't just let it sit there and waste away. I know they last forever, and yet my body won't stop twitching unless I pause the firefight I'm in and make a mad dash for it immediately, usually in those Nightfall situations resulting in my death and a free trip back into orbit. I am increasingly unwell, and my Destiny patronage has devolved into a defiant middle finger to those who will be cruel enough to subject me to this torment. I no longer play for enjoyment. I play like I have something to prove. That I can somehow rise above the tidal wave of void damage I've been drowning in for as long as I can remember. But all shitty things must come to an end. There wasn't an exact time or moment or event that had happened, but one day I just didn't play Destiny. I was light level 29 and satisfied with that. The Dark Below, Destiny's first DLC, was scheduled to come out in a couple weeks, and I said to myself, there's no way in fucking hell I'm buying that. And because there was no longer a reason to play. No goals, no further accolades on the horizon. I broke it off with Destiny. It was better for both of us. This happened after the engram patch. I had time to play and feel its positive effects, but the large-scale damage had already been done, and there would be no patching it up. I deleted Destiny to make room for Mortal Kombat X. I knew it was always re-downloadable. I hadn't severed the connection for good. 6 months went by. The Taken King was announced. I barely paid attention. That wasn't for me, I said. Then 3 days after it came out, I bought it, in a fit of restless, impulsive video game stagnation. I was bored out of my mind, I needed something, so I blew a small hole in my bank account and spent the beyond ridiculous $60 for The Taken King. And you know what? It's fun. It's also been bullshitting me on a very consistent basis in the 4 days I've been playing it, and that's really not good for my emotions or general well-being. Just goes to show that the cycle never ends. I have 2 quests I can't complete, because they call for maxing out my subclasses, and when I received those quests, I had already maxed out my subclasses. So now, of course, why would the game recognize that fact and just outright award me what I'm owed, when it could totally just ignore my achievements and make it a dud quest never to be completed? I tried abandoning them and re-accepting them, but all that afforded me was an effective way to waste 3 minutes. Oh, but what really takes the cake, though, and the incident that inspired me to pen all this shit had to do with Zur this past Friday. So the Taken King adds more powerful gear to go with the extra levels you'll be gaining on your way to 40, which means that even the worst Taken King gear is better than your best exotic from previous versions. What they failed to mention, or if they did I must have missed the extremely obscure blog post, is that Zur is a shady asshole who was more than willing to rip you the fuck off. I spent 31 strange coins on an exotic engram, I remember where they only costed 7, and pranced over to Rahul to give me my prize. Let me preface this by saying that my weakest weapon I had at that point did 240 damage, which is leagues higher than anything that was before the Taken King. Rahul did his gypsy's magic tricks and presented me very smugly with the Suros regime, widely regarded as one of the best exotic weapons in the old game. Only this one had a whopping 160 attack. And by whopping, I mean the goddamn fucking opposite of whopping. I should have just bought Hawkmoon, the guaranteed gun. That shit did 280, but the Taken King succeeded in lulling me into a false sense of security. Like the ex you meet up with who tells you she's changed. You haven't changed, Destiny. You're just fancier. You dress like you're bougie, but you're still fucking ghetto. That being said, I'm still gonna play it. The Taken King is the best version of Destiny there's been, and for now the Sunburned Albino specific bullshit has yet to overwhelm my senses. My friends tell me to leave Destiny. They say she's hurting me, abusing me, but I know she means well. They just don't understand. They look at my bruises with suspicion, and don't believe me when I tell them I ran into a door or fell down the stairs. But they don't see Destiny the way I do. I love Destiny, and I know she loves me. She just shows it in a different way than everyone else. I, for one, am hopeful about the future. Thanks for listening to this, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe and whatnot, and maybe I'll see you watching some of my other videos. Well, I won't see, but I'll get this warm feeling in my heart, and I'll know you're there. Okay, see ya.